Good evening, fellow gamers. Welcome to another edition of Drathmas Gaming. I'm your host, Drathmas. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Diablo 3 champion affixes. Affixes are pretty much define all of the abilities and stuff that the enemies use in Diablo 3, or that the champions use, rather. The champions and rare packs are special enemies that have special abilities to beat the living shit out of you. So, a rare pack is a group of usually 3 enemies that have a blue name, and they have a certain amount of affixes based on your difficulty. Normal difficulty has 1 affix and increases by 1 affix per difficulty. So, normal is 1 affix, then we have Nightmare at 2 affixes, Hell at 3 affixes, and Inferno at 4 affixes, which is a pain in the ass. There are a total of 25 affixes, ranging from Arcane Enchanted, which drop these purple orbs that circle around and deal damage, and the champions themselves have additional arcane damage. Then there's Avenger. When a ally of the monster dies nearby, they go into a rage, dealing more damage, attacking faster, and casting magical spells faster. There's Desecrator, which spawns these little void zones in the ground, which are red and deal a crap ton of damage for standing in them, so just move out of the way. And there's Electrified. The enemy has a higher lightning resistance, they deal additional lightning damage, and whenever they are attacked, they shoot out electricity, little shock pulses. Then there's Extra Health, which that should be a given. It usually ranges at about 25 to 40% more health than a default enemy of that type. And then Fast, which makes the enemies run faster, attack faster, and cast faster. Then there's Fire Chains. Between all of the rare mobs are linked a glowing orange chain. Whenever you walk near that or through it, it'll deal a crap ton of fire damage. Then there is the Frozen Affix, which the champion will deal additional frost damage and also spawn these little ice cubes on the ground that get more spiky until they explode and freeze your hero in place if you do not move out of the way. Health Link, it spreads out all the damage you deal to that one target across all 3 of them total. And Health Link is a pain in the butt because it essentially makes the one target you're trying to focus down have 3 times the health. So if you hit an enemy for 600 and all 3 champions are still alive, it's only going to deal 200 to each one. Then there's Horde, which will increase the amount of minions that a champion mob has. So he normally has 3 minions. He may range up between 6 to 12 additional minions. They usually have the same affix as him. So there is also Illusionist, which the rare or champion mob will periodically spawn additional illusions. It's usually 4 illusions that are all going to be right next to that mob. And they deal a fraction of the damage and have a fraction of the health from the default champion mob as well. There's invulnerable minions that when a champion mob has his 2-3 minions are invulnerable from all damage. That is particularly annoying to ranged heroes that have to use projectiles, where the shielded minions will just block the damage. There's Jailor, which will lock all of the heroes on screen in place with a little red circle that ranges from their feet to their head. That lasts about 3 seconds, and you cannot move during that time, but you still can cast abilities and attack. There's Knockback, which is self-explanatory. Whenever you get hit by the monster, there's a chance that you can be knocked back. Simple as that. Missile Dampening puts an aura on the champion, which all missiles that enter it will be slowed. The damage will still be the same, so if the target does not move, they will still take full damage, which is kind of funny. Then there's Molten. Enemies will leave a fiery path in their wake as they run around. and then when they die, they will explode into a fiery ball of doom. This will usually one-shot you on higher difficulties, so it's advised to move away. There's Mortar, which is the bane of ranged heroes, also known as My Demon Hunter dying a lot. Each enemy that has Mortar will fire 3 fireballs into the sky, usually ranging at a hero that is in range, so not in melee, which will deal a bunch of damage, bunch of fire damage, and there's usually 3. They'll be landing 1 in front of your hero, 1 on top of your hero, and 1 behind your hero. It's best to sidestep to the left or to the right, depending on which way they're coming. There's Nightmarish, which gives the enemies a chance to fear you whenever you are hit, and in doing so, you'll be feared, and there'll be a little skull above your champion's head, or your hero's head, and you'll be scared, and you won't be able to do anything for about 3 seconds. There's Plagued, which enemies that are plagued will drop a green ooze pool on the ground from where they are standing, which is pretty easy to avoid, but more of a problem to the melee. It'll deal a lot of damage on the ground, so you just gotta step out of the way. It usually gets to be troublesome once there's a lot of rares in one area, as shown here. The melee is having a bunch of difficulties trying to get through, solely due to the fact that it's everywhere. Then we got Shielding, which that'll temporarily put a complete immunity shield on one of the targets. There, you can not deal any damage through it, but they can still be crowd controlled, so you can slow and stun without any difficulties. And then there is Damage Reflect, which is a huge pain in the butt. Whenever you deal damage, a fraction of it is dealt back to you. And there's Waller, which will create a wall in one particular location. If it is a champion mob, so just one, he will try to block in your hero with 3 walls. But if it is a rare enemy, then each rare will spawn 1 wall. So if you're fighting 1 champion, he will always spawn 3 walls. If you're fighting 3 rares, each one will only spawn 1. They can act in the same way, but if you kill a rare, then only 2 are going to be left, since there's still 2 in the pack. There is Vampiric, which whenever they deal damage, they will heal themselves as well. That is particularly annoying when it's Vampiric and Shielding, or invulnerable minions. And then Vortex, which coupled with Desecrator or Plagued is particularly deadly, because Vortex will pull in all heroes within the screen onto the target that is casting it. So if you get Vortexed in and there's Plague on the ground, it's going to hurt a lot. So I hope that helps you guys out. Champion affixes are kind of hard to learn since there's a whole bunch of them, and then there's a bunch of combinations come Inferno and everything. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time.